Hello everyone, how are you going? How's your reading? Or what are you reading? Tossing up between the two introductions. Anyway, I have a book. And I'm just going to go back a bit. I'm just trying to dry my arms. I'm putting on hormones. I just happen to have the thing right here. So this is what I'm putting on because someone is old and grey. Looking at my grey hair, it might be me. And I'm losing all my hormones. And the most medically correct, accepted way is to add hormones. And I'm using the gel, which I do not like because it can sometimes take 10 minutes to dry. And I can't just wipe it off because then I will lose part of my dose. So, it is drying. But I thought while it's drying, I could do a quick video in my lovely goodies t-shirt. I can't go back any further, so I have things behind my chair, which includes a wall. I found that walls are immovable when you're sitting on a chair, but I didn't say that out loud. So anyway, this book, Without a Dust Jacket. So Agatha Christie is one of the all-time greats of crime writers. I actually think I've had a blank on the name. I think Naomi Marsh might actually be better from a writing point of view. But Agatha Christie has been much loved over the generations. At one stage, my sister was collecting all of her books. And when she went overseas, more years ago than I care to even think about, I bought her collection from her. And now it's residing on my shelves. I think it takes up 2 shelves because she wrote a lot of books. I think there were 88 crime detective novels, which includes a number of short stories, several books of short stories, and one of them I think she wrote as a play, and that has been playing in London at whichever theatre. I forget which theatre. I've been there in London in the same theatre for, last I heard it was 50 years, so it's probably closer to 60 or 70 by now. I have no idea how they managed COVID, how they even think of COVID, and how they managed COVID, if they count the years where we were doing lockdowns and social distancing. Now it's not post-COVID, we're living with COVID. There's a huge difference. Post-COVID would be where we do not have much COVID at all, but now we're living with COVID, where there is COVID. But a lot of us are vaxxed, and some people aren't. And for some people, it's not their choice. They just, medically, they can't. I'm rambling on about absolutely nothing useful to do with this book. So I'm just going to stop rambling about COVID and stop giving people PTSD. And tell you about this book. So, as I was saying, there's this one story which I think it's actually a play that's in here. The Mousetrap and Other Plays by Agatha Christie. Now, according to the terms of publication, it wasn't allowed to be published outside the UK, inside. I think it was not allowed to be distributed. Oh, I've forgotten. I should have checked this up earlier. This one was published in the US. So maybe that's that they're not allowed to be published in the UK. I've never tried to look for it here. I like finding the second-hand books in the Agatha Christie as opposed to the new books. So I probably could have found it here. But this tells me that The Mousetrap is copyright 1954. So if the play has been running ever since then. That's a lot of years. I'll let you do the maths. It's a very lot of years. And we went to see it when we were in the UK in 2001. And at the beginning, they made a big introduction and said, do not tell anyone the ending. Do not tell anyone the ending. Let them come and see it. So I didn't tell anyone the ending. I'm not even going to tell you now. But what I did find when we were on holidays, a year or two later, we were in this tiny little place in the outback. No, I don't think even the outback. I think it was a bit closer in than that. Tiny little town. One shop maybe, two shops. So really tiny. There were not many houses. In the fields, someone had made this structure. This, I don't know if I can go and check my photos. Such a long time ago, I don't remember if it was digital camera or analog camera. But it was a lovely structure. It was made of hay, bales of hay. The rectangular is 2D. Whatever the 3D representation of rectangles are. Rectangular bales of hay. And other things which I don't remember. I think it might have been a horse. It was fantastic. I really enjoyed that. But then I went into the shop and we bought some food, and they had a bookshelf. It was a very small bookshelf. They had, if you can see, where am I pointing? I don't know. Off to over my shoulder. If you can see all those books, they had less than that on that shelf. And I went and browsed. Actually, I might have written about this on my blog, so there's a fair chance that it is after 2009. And I found this, and I looked at it, and I said, the Mousetrap. That is, there are issues with that. Why is that here? Why does it have no cover? No, I didn't actually ask myself that one. Why is it only 50 cents? Oh my, all the deities, I must have that book. And I duly handed over my 50-cent piece. And I walked away quite content. And I have I read this? You know, I don't even know if I've read this. I have no idea. Probably not, because I'm not really much of a play reader. Let's just ignore that for the moment. I was just so excited to have this on my shelf, and I spent 50 cents in some tiny little outback town of lovely people. They were really delightful people. And I don't know if they knew what they were selling me. I think if they knew what they were selling me, they probably would have charged me more money. I think I did ask them, was it really 50 cents? It's a long time ago. We're now in 2025, and that was post-2009. More maths I'm not doing. So I'm just going to open it up and find the Mousetrap and show it to you. Okay, page 261. It's sort of, as you can see, it's not in the best condition, but you don't always expect perfect condition for pre-loved books. Well, I don't. And I'll come back to something here in a second. Here we go. There we go. The Mousetrap. Fantastic. So what I'm coming back to is very easy to find because it's on the broken bit. I wonder how many people have read this. That's the thing about library books. You never know how many people have actually read the book. Okay, so here we go. This is in Appointment with Death, and we're looking at the characters of Gerard and Cope. And Gerard's just been offered a drink, and he says, "Thank you. Cinzano allo." Yep, up here. I don't know if you can read that. Cinzano and water. I'm just showing off. I have the odd word of French. When I say odd, it's mostly food. But then I have lots of words in other languages, and they're mostly food. You'd almost think I was addicted to food. So anyway, this is my book. It's been on my shelf for a number of years, and I treasure it. The back is nothing to write home about. It's obviously had some glue at some point. And looking at it now, I just wonder if I tried some isopropyl alcohol, or would that take it off and not wreck the book. Maybe what would be better is not isopropyl alcohol, but eucalyptus oil. I used to use eucalyptus oil back in the day to clean up books and take sticky off them. It does not work too well for matte books, but a book like this, which is nice and shiny, you can't see it, but it is, it might work well for that. I might consider doing that. Anyway, enough for now. Thank you for being patient with me as I rambled on through everything apart from this book. And I have not given you a potted history of Agatha Christie, which is probably very good because they're all over the place. I'm sure you can find some much better potted history somewhere else entirely. So, happy reading. Subscribe or not down below as you choose, and I'll talk to you on the flip side. Bye.